everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to another edition of The Daily here with Greg Lawless. I'm Nick Furshaw. Looking forward to a busy weekend in Major League Soccer. And Greg, let's look at three separate games, starting with a big one on Saturday, the Montreal Impact at home against Real Salt Lake on MLS Live on a free weekend on MLSsoccer.com, where you can watch all the MLS live games. Let's start with the Impact. Coming back from this loss midweek against the New York Red Bulls against a good RSL team, what do we expect from Montreal?
Well, I think they were disappointed with the way it went in New York, obviously. So they're going to go home and try and get back on the winning track here. They have not won in the last two games, but obviously still one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Real Salt Lake coming in a little bit fired up because they got a good victory on the road in their last time out. Remember Nick Raimondo saving that penalty right at the end as well. So they're feeling pretty confident, I think. And this is going to be a good matchup because I think that Salt Lake is bringing a little bit more of that swagger that they had a little, maybe a year ago or so, and they've got that swagger a little bit about themselves. They feel like they're an underdog. That's when RSL are really dangerous. Now, can Montreal turn it around? I expect Devaya will go back into the starting lineup, which he did not start against New York. So he did score the goal. He's their most dangerous player. Still confused even why he didn't start in New York. Maybe just get him some rest or something.
So again, that game 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday on a free weekend on MLS Live. Then at 4 p.m., a good one out in the Western Conference, the San Jose Earthquakes on the road at the Seattle Sounders. The revitalized Seattle Sounders coming off a midweek win over Sporting Kansas City. Steven Lenhart going to return in this game for the Quakes. What do we see?
Well, that's always exciting. When Steven Lenhart takes the field, you know it's going to be fun. But for Seattle, they're coming off that great victory in against Sporting Kansas City in Kansas City. Can they keep it up when they get home? They're riding a 4-game unbeaten streak. Remember all the struggles they had early on in the season when they were dealing with Champions League and everything? Now maybe they're back. Obafemi Martins has been training. No word yet what his role would be in this one. Eddie Johnson escaping a suspension despite his little fracas that he had in Philadelphia. So this is a Seattle team that's feeling pretty confident. Now they go up against a very good San Jose team that is healthy again. Can the Sounders come through again in this one?
You mentioned the Eddie Johnson incident. Ziggy Schmidt, the head coach of the Seattle Sounders, said maybe they were a little bit lucky to avoid a suspension for EJ. And last but not least, a big game on Sunday, maybe the best game of the weekend. Houston at home against Sporting Kansas City, two of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Kai Kamara still working his way back into the SKC lineup. And for Houston, a successful week on the road. Wins at the LA Galaxy and a win at DC United.
Yeah, and they get Brad Davis back for this one. So this is going to be big for them as well when they can see what they can do in this game. So look, this is a Houston team that has not lost at home since what? Like the Nixon administration or something like that. They never seem to lose at home. But they're going up against a very good team in Sporting Kansas City who at times can put it together and be very dangerous. When Graham Zusi's on his game, they didn't seem to click midweek. Now, can they bring it back together in Houston? I think it all revolves around Zusi. What does he do running out of the midfield, finding spaces like that? And can they incorporate Kamara a little bit more?
Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, once again on MLS Live. And I'll point you to our very own Andrew Wiebe's top 5 moments in the history of Kai Kamara in Kansas City. Some great goals and some great burrito giveaways. Make sure you log on.
Celebrations.
Yeah, celebrations, great goals, and free burritos for everybody. Make sure you log on to MLSsoccer.com. Check out that video. Well, busy week for the MLS Disciplinary Committee, who on Thursday cracked down on Chivas USA rookie Carlos Alvarez for that incident against Sporting Kansas City. Last time out, a 2-game suspension for kicking the ball into his opponent's face while he was on the ground, an exposed opponent there. So 2 games for Carlos Alvarez. He's going to miss the game against the Portland Timbers this weekend. Caleb Porter on the other side of that coin, the Timbers head coach, fined for those comments disparaging the refs after the midweek draw against FC Dallas. And John Hackworth, no surprise, he knew he was going to get it. The Philadelphia Union head coach fined for those comments after a draw against Seattle last weekend.
Yeah, and basically I think that the disciplinary committee is looking to the coaches and the players to maintain the integrity of the officiating in the end. They're the ones who will end up providing the message to the fans and to their own players and to other coaches and to the media that the integrity of the referees is important and sacrosanct. So they have to come down hard when coaches blast the referees.
I will also point you to a video that appeared on MLSsoccer.com on Thursday featuring Nelson Rodriguez, the man we call the discipline czar. He oversees the disciplinary committee. A good look at some of the recent decisions the committee's made, including that Eddie Johnson foul and the Steven Lenhart suspension. A lot of people checked it out on Thursday. It's a candid look at how these guys work. Make sure you check it out on MLSsoccer.com. Last but not least, a look across the pond at Jozy Altidore, the prized U.S. international striker, now with AZ in Holland, and one of the best seasons we've seen from an international abroad. Wins the Dutch Cup on Thursday, 31 goals across all competitions. Is this the best season we've seen from an American player abroad?
Arguably. I mean, certainly when you add trophies in there, and that's a big part of it, and he was very, very excited about that. He talked about, he actually scored one of the goals in the 2-1 victory over PSV Eindhoven. But you look at all of the goals that he scored, everything he did for that team. When you think about also what he went through in that middle of the season when there was that moment of racism that crept up in one of the games, and he took the high road and came out very, very well in that one. I think you take it all into account, you have to consider this as one, if not the best season an American has had in Europe.
A formative year for Jozy Altidore. We actually asked Brian McBride about that season and a whole lot more on the latest edition of Extra Time Radio. The former MLS, EPL, and U.S. national team star came on and talked a little bit about David Moyes and what his new job at Manchester United is going to mean for some potential Americans abroad. You can catch that on iTunes, Buzzsprout, and Stitcher Radio. A last reminder, a free weekend on MLS Live this weekend. No excuse not to watch some of the best games in Major League Soccer. That does it for us. We'll see you back again on Monday.